Welcome back everyone to Mirus, the world of mice, crickets, shrimp, and bees. If you're new here, I recommend you watch the full series in the iCard in the top right corner of the screen. Mirus, the world of mice, is a seed world. A seed world is an alien world seeded with Earth life by some other intelligent life form. In the last episode, we saw the creatures of Mirus evolve into many niches, the mice even taking to the seas. These mice have become massive, considering they evolved from a not-so-massive mouse. The tension is high in this age on Muris, as in the next episode, the world will change drastically. The two continents are on the verge of colliding, and the Green Sea is almost eradicated. This episode marks the end of the Vertimerian, or Green Sea, period. In the plains of Mirus, that make up most of the planet's land mass, there is one lineage of rathound that skulks not in the shadows, but in the sun. The green Idamus, or Idamus vertatase, is a deadly and efficient hunter. It is capable of taking down the large prey of the plains, such as shield heads. They have reduced their saber incisors and have opted for a stronger bite force rather than a larger gait. These creatures are named the Green Idamus because of their greenish-brown color that allows them to blend in with the tall grasses in the plains. They have excellent senses of smell, sight, and hearing, which allows them to track their prey while staying beneath the grass. The Green Idamus is solitary by nature. However, sometimes they hunt in groups to take down multiple prey items at once. The great creatures that the Green Idamus hunts is the shieldhead, or Muskramen cornuscutum. These creatures have evolved a frill similar to Triceratops that is made of bone and covered in keratin. These frills, or shields, on their head are used to defend against predators and are used in mating displays. The males will show off their vibrant ornaments to a mate and sing loudly to puff up their equally vibrant throat sac. These creatures are built like a rhino and weigh almost a ton. They still feed on wheat and other assorted vegetation, and will use their large incisors to attack predators if they get too close. The Green Idamus can't eat all its food, and the scraps attract scavengers. An army of scrants would gladly eat the corpse, but one critter gets there first. The scavenging Idamus, or Idamus escamfer, is another rathound lineage. It is smaller than its green cousin, and frankly looks ugly. These creatures love a good meal of scraps, and will use its large nose to find one. Its nose can find carrion within 7 miles. Its bald face makes sure no bacteria or harmful stuff gets on them while feeding, as they do not groom. One hose nose lineage has made it to the plains. The scrant eater, or Nguandui ungubius, scientific names are weird, okay? Is a much larger creature than its ancestor, and its diet has changed. Instead of eating honey, it now eats scrants. The scrant eaters dig up scrant colonies with their large digging claws, then stick their long mouth and eat the scrants. The queen, however, is too big to be eaten, and the scrant eater inadvertently lets its food keep making more food. There is no better rivalry than the one in the snow plains. The snow Idamus, or Idamus terpanix, is a pack hunter, as it is much smaller than its temperate counterparts, with similar-sized prey. They live in packs of about a dozen and have thick fur that defends against the cold. They also have thick fur on the tail that allows them to keep warm while asleep, curling up like a winter fox. The white Ostramus, or Ostramus arbamsacelaslete, is mainly an herbivore, eating grass in the snow plains. However, they will eat any carrion they find, and sometimes actively seek it out. Descending from the ninth Muskramen, they have sexual dimorphism, males being larger and having a violent tint to their thick white fur, and some purple neck fur. They are more squat than their ancestors, being in more shape to polar bears than night muskramen. These hungry omnivores will even kill and eat young, sick, or injured snow edemuses, their own predators, making the reason for edemu's sociality very clear. In the forests of Mirus, a common little critter swings from tree to tree. The omnivore Musimia, or Musimia omnivora, has evolved a less specialized diet, now eating tree bees and smaller animals such as baby gliders or babies of a competing Musimia, in addition to their diet of seeds. These Musimians additionally walk bipedally on the ground, occasionally, and have somewhat intelligent brains, using primitive tools. They have been seen using a large rock to crush seeds, then feeding it to their young who have less developed teeth. A cousin of the omnivore Musimia is the glider, or Musimia lapsus. The glider has evolved, you guessed it, to glide. These small gliding critters use a skin membrane that goes from the hands to the base of the tail to glide to trees that are too far to climb and swing to. These creatures might just be the catalyst for true powered flight. A descendant of the hose nose has grown much larger to defend against predators. The giant hose nose, or Linguanda nectavora, was a humble hive raider, but is now almost 4 feet long. One lineage of jumping apimus has evolved to eat bees only in their juvenile stage. The rooch, or Angulobustare multiforma, has evolved to take 2 different niches in its 2 different stages of life. Its juvenile stage, it hunts bees and is quite similar to its ancestors. However, when it reaches adulthood, it starts to not eat bees, but any other animal in the forest. The adult rooch is the apex predator of the forest. Its ears unfold as it no longer hunts bees and won't be stung. The adult rooch's gait grows wider to bite larger prey, and its claws lengthen. The adult rooch is like a combination of a kangaroo and a theropod dinosaur. Bipedal, standing at 5 feet tall, this monster drives fear into the hearts of anyone who dares enter the forest. There is only one creature too large for an adult rooch to eat, and that is the bearded Ostramus, or Ostramus trambarba. This 10-foot tall creature is a descendant of the night muskramen, and is similarly nocturnal. They also have the sexual dimorphism, as the males have long purple beards and purple fur on the face, neck, and chests. Those males also have a sagittal crest. These towering giants eat leaves of the sunflower trees and have adapted a highly derived and powerful gut bacteria to break down said leaves. The giant sunflower trees need a pollinator, and so the tree bee, or Apis magnu arborcustus, has evolved to pollinate them even more effectively than their ancestors. This caused the sunflower forest to expand significantly. The tree bee has evolved to be larger and be green. Their green color allows them to camouflage from predators like juvenile rooches. A close cousin of the tree bee is the blood bee, or Apis magnusanguis. This bee has become a parasite that uses its rostrum to suck its host's blood. These bees use all their claws and their stinger to hook to the host. The stinger injects a toxin that stops the blood from clotting and numbs the spot. And then the bee pierces the skin with its rostrum and feasts on the host for a couple of hours. After feeding, the bee will leave, and smaller creatures won't feel the blood coming out and sometimes bleed out. When this happens, the blood bee will come back and lay its eggs in the carcass and start creating a new blood bee hive. These bees store the blood in sacs on their faces, and their honey is notoriously sour and not eaten by hose noses. The hook bee, or Apis carinus acule, is a cage bee descendant that has since used their large stinger to hook prey rather than caging them. This stinger has paralytic venom that makes the target unable to flee as the hook pea feasts on its meal of small musimians, gliders, and occasionally baby ruches. The great baleen marmus consumes the remains of the green sea and the plankton that feed on it. It floats on the surface free of any predators as it is too big to be harmed. The baleen marmus, or Melmus balenoris, is the largest creature so far on Muris. With its nose sticking just above the water, this 15-foot-long beast is one of Mirus' most magnificent creations, even though it isn't the most flattering to look at. One Mermus offshoot has evolved convergently with alligators, becoming an ambush predator of the rivers. The mouseigator, or Flumer alligator mimica, has evolved a body plan similar to alligatorids, with a long body and long snout, with many sharp teeth. A not-so-close cousin of the great baleen marmus is the torpedo marmus, or Marmus salratosaurum, a creature that is the apex predator of the seas. They have foregone their arms for speed and jaw strength, and their ears have gotten larger, an unusual trait for an aquatic creature. They use these ears like two dorsal fins, allowing them to steer better. They can also close their eyes and also close their ears as not to get water in. They eat any shrimp in the entire sea, and its speed is almost unchallenged. Keyword, almost. One contender for the apex predator of the seas is the sea goblin, or Caridiamala aculicalus. This creature is a shrimperk that has convergently evolved with goblin sharks. They shoot out their mandibles and grab prey without pushing them away, like those said goblin sharks. They have also evolved eye stalks to survey the area for prey, but eye stalks aren't hydrodynamic. Thus, the goblin has evolved to retract their eye stalks while in pursuit of prey. At the ocean floor, a giant creature probes for its prey with its large tentacle-like antennae. The great scraper, or Caridiamala connex maxilla, is an extremely large sea scraper descendant that has connected the two mandibles with the skin membrane that holds the two mandibles together. They use this bottom jaw as a shovel, and they scoop up any munchers on the sea floor and eat them. These alien-looking creatures are the largest shrimp to ever live on Muris. The double munch, or Squilitera raptoris, gets its name from the fact that it eats other armored munchers on the seafloor, and has grown larger to do so. They kill the munchers by attracting them with their bioluminescent antenna that makes them look like their mates, and then they kill them with their raptor-like claws. The armor muncher has not evolved much besides this cannibalistic offshoot. Mirus has two islands that boast unique fauna, such as Scalana, which has a split lineage of land shrimp that have convergently evolved book lungs and jaws. These true land shrimp, or Squipulmo mandibula, have convergently evolved with the Caridiamalans, and their mandibles are almost identical. However, these jaws evolved not to eat meat, but to eat plant matter, as the isolated island of Scalana has no herbivores. The only other creature living on the island of Scalana are scrants, which will scavenge the dead corpses of land shrimp. Another island is Fablu. This island split off at the end of the last episode, and it was previously almost all dry land. However, Fablu has become less dry and turned into plains, to the delight of the native fauna. The island Parmus, or Parmus fabluvius, has grown much larger due to the new climate. They have moved from eating nutrient-lacking dryland plants to the more nutrient-dense plants in the open plains. Their ears have shrunk, giving them a more dog-like appearance, as opposed to their mainland counterpart, the mainland Parmus or Parmus invalidi. The predator of the island Parmus is the pygmy Idimus, or Idimus insula parva. These cute-looking critters are a lineage of rat hound, stuck on Fablu and shrunk in size due to the lack of larger prey. They are quite similar in looks and behavior to the ancestral rat hound. However, their incisor saber teeth are reduced, as the pygmy doesn't need a large gate. The island continent of Galos is a large dryland home to the crickets, the largest of them being the bulket, or Herbivores primus. This 3-foot-long cricket bull is an herbivore with multiple sets of horns. The bulket has the top 3 horns used for fighting males, while the bottom 2 are used as pseudo-limbs to rip bushes and other dryland plants from the ground. The bulket also have spikes all across their stomachs, so that no creature goes under it and attempts to attack its once vulnerable stomach. There is only one creature that hunts the bulket, and that creature is the night runner, or Crillis carsu umbra. This cricket has a reduced middle limb pair and reversed its back's legs to better run. These night runners run towards bulkets and bite and tear flesh off. If the bulket wakes up, the night runner uses its reduced middle limbs to grab on and feast until the beast inevitably shakes it off. The trunk bug, or Tranquil Ficelta mortem, are scavengers of the Galos continent. They have evolved a less armored chitin appendage that pushes the mouth parts forward, making a trunk. These guys love dead corpses and use their long antennae to find their next meal. The creatures of Mirus have adapted and evolved for almost 20 million years. Thank you guys so much for all of your support for this project and all of the positive comments I have gotten on all the videos, and thank you. If you're still watching, you probably are subscribed, but if you want more content in the future, you should probably do so. Have a great day. Goodbye.